What began as a land of ancient civilizations became the most powerful nation on Earth. The history of the United States is a story of struggle, freedom, innovation, and global influence. In the next 10 minutes, let's explore how America was built, from native tribes to a modern superpower. Long before Europeans arrived, millions of Native Americans lived across North America. They formed advanced societies such as the Cherokee, Iroquois, Apache, and Sioux. They farmed, traded, governed, and lived in harmony with nature. This land already had history, long before it was called America. In 1492, Christopher Columbus reached the Americas, opening the door to European exploration. By the early 1600s, England, Spain, and France established colonies. In 1607, Jamestown became the first permanent English settlement. Life was harsh, and conflict with native tribes was common. But the colonies slowly grew stronger. Over time, Britain imposed heavy taxes on the colonies without representation. Anger grew. Events like the Boston Tea Party ignited rebellion. In 1776, the colonies declared independence. The Revolutionary War had begun. Led by George Washington, the colonies defeated Britain. In 1787, the U.S. Constitution was written, creating a democratic government. Freedom of speech, religion, and individual rights became the foundation of the nation. America expanded westward, driven by opportunity and ambition. But this expansion came at a cost. Millions of African slaves were forced into labor. Tensions between free states and slave states continued to grow. In 1861, the nation was divided. The Civil War was the deadliest conflict in U.S. history. President Abraham Lincoln led the fight to preserve the Union. In 1865, slavery was abolished, and the nation began to heal. Following its tumultuous birth and civil war, the United States stood on the precipice of a new era. The late 19th century unleashed the power of the Industrial Revolution, fundamentally reshaping American society. Railroads stitched the vast continent together, factories churned out goods at an unprecedented rate, and cities swelled with millions of immigrants seeking opportunity. This period, known as the Gilded Age, was marked by incredible wealth and innovation, personified by titans of industry like Carnegie and Rockefeller. However, beneath the glittering surface lay stark inequality, grueling labor conditions, and widespread political corruption, sparking the rise of labor unions and populist movements demanding reform. As the 20th century dawned, America began to look outward. Driven by economic ambition and a sense of manifest destiny, the nation embarked on a path of imperialism, acquiring territories from the Caribbean to the Pacific. This new global posture was soon tested. In 1917, after years of determined neutrality, the United States entered World War I. The conflict propelled America onto the world stage as a major military and economic power, and President Woodrow Wilson championed a new vision of international cooperation with his 14 points. The war's end ushered in the Roaring '20s, a decade of unprecedented social and cultural change. Jazz music filled the airwaves, women gained the right to vote, and a booming stock market seemed to promise endless prosperity. But this exuberant decade came to a screeching halt in 1929. The stock market crash plunged the nation into the Great Depression, the most severe economic crisis in its history. Millions lost their jobs and homes, and breadlines became a common sight. In response, President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal programs dramatically expanded the role of the federal government, creating a social safety net and forever changing the relationship between the state and its citizens. Just as the nation began to recover, the world was once again engulfed in war. The attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 thrust the United States into World War II. The American home front mobilized on a massive scale, with factories converted to produce weapons and millions of women entering the workforce, symbolized by Rosie the Riveter. The war effort, culminating in the Allied victory, cemented America's status as a global superpower. But the dawn of the atomic age also cast a long, ominous shadow over the post-war world. The end of World War II did not bring peace, but a new kind of conflict, the Cold War. For over 4 decades, the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a tense standoff, an ideological struggle between capitalism and communism. This rivalry played out across the globe, from the Berlin airlift to the Cuban Missile Crisis, and fueled a terrifying nuclear arms race. The Cold War also spurred a space race, culminating in the historic moon landing in 1969, a moment of profound national pride. While America confronted threats abroad, it faced a moral crisis at home. The civil rights movement, which had been building for decades, gained powerful momentum in the 1950s and 60s. Led by visionary figures like Martin Luther King Jr., African Americans and their allies used nonviolent protest, marches, and legal challenges to dismantle the brutal system of racial segregation. Landmark legislation like the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 marked monumental victories in the ongoing struggle for equality and justice for all. This era of social upheaval was further complicated by the Vietnam War. What began as a small advisory mission escalated into a full-scale, divisive conflict that tore the country apart. The war sparked a powerful anti-war movement and a broader counterculture that questioned traditional authority and values. The eventual withdrawal from Vietnam in 1973 left deep scars on the American psyche and led to a period of national soul-searching. The late 20th century brought new challenges and transformations. The Watergate scandal eroded trust in government, while economic anxieties grew during the energy crises of the 1970s. The 1980s, under President Ronald Reagan, saw a resurgence of conservatism, characterized by tax cuts, deregulation, and a more confrontational approach to the Soviet Union. This decade culminated in a stunning and unforeseen event, the collapse of the Berlin Wall in 1989, followed by the dissolution of the Soviet Union, effectively ending the Cold War. Entering the 21st century, America found itself in a new world defined by globalization and the digital revolution. The rise of the internet and personal computing transformed communication, commerce, and culture in ways that were previously unimaginable. But this new era began with a profound trauma. The terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, reshaped American foreign policy, leading to wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and a new focus on national security. Today, the United States continues to grapple with complex issues: growing economic inequality, intense political polarization, a changing climate, and an ongoing reckoning with its history of racial injustice. The American experiment, born in revolution and forged in conflict and progress, is a story that is still being written. From industrial giant to global superpower to digital pioneer, the nation's journey is a testament to its capacity for reinvention and its enduring, though often contested, pursuit of a more perfect union. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more journeys into history.